Manuel Neuer gave the necessary tips to be a master penalty saver.
The new Manuel Neuers, the young kids, watching at home right now, what kind of things they can do to get better at saving penalties.
They have to make the opponent a little bit afraid. He has to be scary.
As captain of Germany and of Bayern Munich, Neuer is a more than authoritative voice when it comes to talking about technique, and his perception on penalties is incredible.
Actually, I don't like to practice penalty. It's a little bit dangerous for the fingers. I love it in the game because normally a goalkeeper only can win because the pressure is on the striker and you can be a hero.
Like every goalkeeper who will face a penalty kick, the German has a specific routine for that moment. He has to be prepared for that decisive duel.
You need to have a deep breath, you have to have a high concentration and to know which kind of player is coming to try to shoot a goal. Then you have to read the player, the strong foot of him, position when he goes to the ball, and normally they have one good side and one bad side, and you have to have the right feeling and to feel it from the heart and from the stomach as well. It's different to have a penalty in the game and to a shootout, because in the game you have just one player, you have to be focused just on them, and when you're in a shootout you have a long list of players and you have to have a nice rhythm of every 30 seconds the next player is coming and you have to read the situation, and the best is when you save it and when you protect the team for a goal.
Manuel Neuer is an experienced goalkeeper who knows that he has to study each of his opponents before a game.
Of course, I know when we are playing in Champions League, I know the players and I know which side is their favorite side, and in the history of the analytics I know the penalties of them as well. From corners, free kicks are the same, but penalties, especially for me as a goalkeeper, it's a preparing situation for me, and I do it in front of the game with my goalkeeper's coach and so on. I'm always prepared.
So it's a part of the routine?
Yes, it's part of the routine, as well as the coach are speaking to us in front of the game about tactics. I speak with my goalkeeper coach about the analytics.
Dibu Martinez has made a name for himself by getting into the players' heads when it comes to saving penalties. But for Neuer, that's not the right thing to do, and he tries not to do it.
Of course, some goalkeepers are doing it, but I'm a very fair player and so on. I don't do things like that because as a captain of two teams, of the national team and of Bayern, we have the bottom of the fair play, and I don't like to do it, but I like to save the penalty. That's it.
Esto con Borja.
Tirala, 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 que la quiero eso. Dale, tirala, que quiero eso, tirala. Ey, tirala, tirala, tirala. No la tiré.
Casi como le va. Sí, Borja resolvió con otra personalidad. Sí. Borja resolvió con otra personalidad. En la previa ni lo miró. Y después en el festejo también resolvió de otra manera.
No. Martínez. Así con palabras de esas no.
However, what's clear to him is that it's necessary to generate fear in the rival in order to secure a good result.
The new Manuel Neuers, the young kids, watching at home right now, what kind of things they can do to get better at saving penalties.
They have to make the opponent a little bit afraid. He has to be scary. You have to show the player that the goal is a little bit closer. You have to stand very high and tall, and maybe he's a little bit afraid, and so on. You have a good chance to save it.
Goalkeepers that save penalties are a reality in football, and just as we talk about goalkeepers having good footwork, it has also become necessary for them to become experts in penalty kicks. Dibu Martinez is the clearest example at the moment. At another time, it was Claudio Bravo who held that title after the Copa America victories.
Nervioso Lucas, Biglia. Le pegó, tapó Bravo, adivinó el lado, notable Claudio Bravo.
A goalkeeper's ability to save penalties is constantly being put to the test, both in training sessions and in the matches they have to face week in, week out. That's why it's really important to have a player in the team, one who can be sure that in extreme situations such as kicks from the penalty spot, he will always be a source of confidence for the fans and his teammates. And of course, advice like Manuel Neuer's is a treasure trove for new goalkeepers who are trying to improve in this area.
The new Manuel Neuers, the young kids, watching at home right now, what kind of things they can do to get better at saving penalties.
They have to make the opponent a little bit afraid. He has to be scary. You have to show the player that the goal is a little bit closer. You have to stand very high and tall, and maybe he's a little bit afraid, and so on. You have a good chance to save it.